Thank you for joining the Resource Center for Math and Science Training on Empowering Learning, the role of a learning assistant in student success. Access to education is critical to social justice, equity, and a sustainable future. Learning assistants are essential in creating the educational support system at Agnes Scott College. In this lesson, we'll dive into what a learning assistant is, the benefits they bring to campus life, and how they can help students navigate the world of education. We will establish the relationship between the tutor, faculty, and staff so that you know where your role as tutor ends and begins. Then we will explore different questioning techniques to get students talking openly. And to get you ready to hit the ground running on your first day of work, we will take a look at some do's and don'ts of tutoring. The role of a learning assistant is vital in providing academic support to students. Some of the key benefits that learning assistants bring to our community are that through providing support in a one-on-one setting, peer tutors provide another dimension of aid that can bridge disparities in receiving a STEM education. For example, some students uncomfortable asking questions in a full class or to a professor may feel more comfortable approaching a peer tutor to receive aid. Learning assistants work closely with students to identify their strengths and weaknesses and to develop strategies to address areas where improvement is needed. By portraying science and math as enjoyable and valuable, it can help students feel more confident and empowered in their learning, leading to greater academic success over time. Another essential role of a learning assistant is to promote active learning and student engagement. Learning assistants may use various strategies to encourage students to take an active role in their education, such as facilitating discussions, leading group activities, and providing opportunities for hands-on learning. This can help students to develop critical thinking skills, think creatively, and solidify a deeper understanding of the material they are studying. Finally, learning assistants also help to promote lifelong learning and personal growth. By working with students to develop study strategies, improve their academic performance, and connect with resources and support services on campus, learning assistants can help to empower students to take control of their learning and to continue to grow and develop throughout their lives. These critical skills ensure that students are well prepared for the challenges they will face in the future and can help to promote their long-term success and well-being. By now, we've discussed a learning assistant, but you may be wondering, what is the difference between a learning assistant and a tutor? Take a moment and remember about your experiences at Agnes Scott. Where have you worked with support staff that called themselves tutors instead of learning assistants? Was your experience similar between the two? Let's take a look at the different approaches. A learning assistant and a tutor are both individuals who provide support to learners, but they differ in their roles and the type of support they offer. A tutor is someone who provides one-on-one instruction to a student, focusing on a specific subject or skill. Tutors often have expertise in the subject area they are teaching. For example, a native French speaker may be a French department tutor, and their role is to help the student improve their understanding and mastery of the material. They may provide personalized instruction, help with homework and assignments, and provide feedback on the student's progress. A learning assistant, on the other hand, is someone who provides broader support to students in a variety of learning contexts, but focuses mostly on math and science. They may also work in a tutoring center, helping students with a range of subjects and skills. Learning assistants may also provide academic coaching, helping students develop study skills and strategies either in one-on-one sessions or in weekly workshops. At other centers on campus, like the Center for Writing and Speaking and the Center for Digital and Visual Literacy, folks providing support are called tutors. At the Resource Center for Math and Science, our peer tutors are considered learning assistants. But we may also use the word tutor interchangeably. Do the differences you recalled from your previous tutoring experiences on campus match this loose definition? No matter the differences, the peers supporting our campus in each of these 4 locations are all peer tutors. Together we create a Scotty support suite. As a learning assistant, your experience on the job and the challenges you face will be akin to a tutor in the CWS, and we are all colleagues here to boost academic success on campus. The relationship between tutors, faculty, and staff can vary depending on the class. However, these roles are generally part of the larger educational community and work together to support student learning and success. As you've heard, tutors provide academic support and guidance to individual students or small groups. Faculty members are the primary educators at Agnes Scott. They are responsible for developing and delivering course content, creating assessments, and providing student feedback. Faculty members may serve as a mentor in aiding the student in selecting courses and programs that align with their career goals. Staff members work behind the scenes to support an institution's academic and administrative functions. They may provide technical support, manage administrative processes, or handle student services such as financial aid, career counseling, and housing. The RCMS staff acts as a conduit to communicate between the student tutors and faculty. Overall, the relationship between tutors, faculty, and staff is collaborative and complementary. In exploring tutoring methods, you will find that you will have a few favorite techniques. However, different learners may require different interventions. Let's explore these approaches. Tutoring techniques can be placed on a spectrum between directive and non-directive methods. During directive tutoring, the sessions are more informative. The learner is usually hearing content for the first time and actively absorbing as much new information as possible. The learning assistant may be a subject matter expert in the subject. Conversely, in non-directive tutoring, the learning assistant guides the learner to a solution, taking a more hands-off approach. The tutor acts more of a guide or coach while the learner is actively participating. Which do you think makes a bigger impact on learning? In tutoring sessions, directive tutoring will have a more minor impact. Students should engage in the classroom or read the content before tutoring. Non-directive techniques will allow tutors to make the most significant impact, and we should focus on utilizing these methods as much as possible. Starting with the most directive techniques where the tutor is solving problems for the learner, instructing occurs when the tutor is exposing the learner to content for the first time. Next, giving advice and making suggestions involve the tutor providing the most momentum for problem solving. Asking questions to raise awareness lies in the middle of the spectrum, and tutors can ask prompting questions to begin actively engaging the learner. Next, we have summarizing and chunking. Chunking involves dividing a large piece of information into smaller, organized segments. These segments are more accessible for the brain to process and remember. When chunking, you group related information under a common theme or concept. For example, if you're studying cell division, you might divide it into sections based on the types of cells first. After identifying the key concepts within each chunk, you create concise summaries that capture the main ideas and essential information. Summaries should be brief and focused, highlighting the most critical points and leaving out minor details. While paraphrasing, the learner nearly takes over in the tutoring session. The tutor can parrot back what the learner is doing and saying, succinctly describing the actions taken to solve the problem. Finally, during active listening, the tutor takes the most non-directive approach. For this method, the tutor actively listens to the learner and asks follow-up or probing questions to keep the problem-solving headed in the correct direction. It is essential to know how to use both and organically switch between them depending on the learner's foundational knowledge. Explore tutoring techniques that resonate with you this semester. Different questioning techniques are an excellent way to get students thinking during your tutoring session. These encourage critical thinking, reflection, and deeper understanding. Here are some standard questioning techniques. Open-ended questions cannot be answered with a simple yes or no. They encourage the speaker to provide a more detailed and thoughtful response. Examples of open-ended questions include "How do you feel about that?" or "Can you tell me more about what you mean?" Probing questions are follow-up questions that seek to clarify or expand on the speaker's previous response. For instance, "Why do you think that is?" and "Can you give me an example?" are probing questions. Leading questions are questions that suggest a particular answer or response. They are often used in a courtroom setting to guide the witness toward a specific conclusion. However, they should be avoided in tutoring sessions as they can be seen as manipulative and may limit critical thinking. Reflective questions encourage the speaker to reflect on their thoughts and feelings. These include "How does that make you feel?" or "What do you think you could do differently next time?" Hypothetical questions ask the speaker to imagine a hypothetical scenario or situation. They can help encourage creative thinking and problem solving. Examples of hypothetical questions include "What would happen if?" or "What do you think might have happened if?" Clarifying questions seek to clarify the meaning of a word or phrase, and you may ask "What do you mean by that?" or "Can you give me an example?" Next time you pick up your favorite hobby, whether it is cooking carbonara or playing Stardew Valley, think of a question from each technique that someone might ask about your hobby. Your job duties may already seem to be overwhelming. Take a deep breath and remember you've been selected for this role because you are already a fantastic student leader with a firm grasp of the learning material. Let's take a moment to slow down and focus on a few tangible actions to take and a couple to avoid. Build a positive relationship with the student. Show respect, empathy, and patience toward the student. Encourage the student to participate actively in the learning process by asking open-ended questions. Provide clear explanations and set boundaries. Use language that is appropriate for the student's level of understanding. Use examples and analogies to illustrate difficult concepts. Provide feedback on the student's progress. Offer constructive criticism and praise the student for their efforts. On the other end of the spectrum, do not do the student's work for them. Instead, guide them towards finding the answers themselves. Do not assume that the student is familiar with basic concepts. Start with the basics and build from there. Do not make assumptions about the student's learning style or preferences. Ask the student how they learn best and adjust your approach accordingly. Do not be overly critical of the student's mistakes. Instead, use mistakes as opportunities for learning and growth. Remember that tutoring is a collaborative process between the tutor and the student. By following these do's and don'ts, you can create a positive and effective learning experience for both you and the student that respects your boundaries and promote positive relationships. In conclusion, learning assistants are part of the support net at Agnes Scott College by empowering learning and promoting student success. They provide academic and personal support to students, help to promote active learning and student engagement, and promote lifelong learning and personal growth. By working with faculty and staff, tutors can bridge the achievement gap for some students in STEM. Utilizing non-directive questioning techniques is a great way to start a conversation with a learner. Through this training series, you continue to build on your tutoring skills and become an excellent part of this team. Thank you for viewing this training video on empowering education and the role of learning assistants in student success. To review this content anytime, check the Learning Assistant Canvas course.